There are places where time doesn't pass. It freezes, along with fear. Where people are no longer inmates, but shadows, lost behind concrete walls. In the vast expanse of Russia, hidden deep within the taiga and Arctic snowfields, exist 3 prisons so feared, even the most bloodthirsty criminals tremble at their names. Black Dolphin, where evil is locked away forever. White Swan, where submission becomes ritual. And Polar Owl, the black hole of humanity, deep in frozen Siberia. These are not just prisons. They are self-contained universes, where human will is crushed day after day. Subscribe now, and join 5W Explore as we enter Russia's 3 most terrifying prisons. Black Dolphin, the machine that crushes souls. Near the Kazakh border stands Black Dolphin, the unofficial name of Penal Colony No. 6. Under Russia's Federal Penitentiary Service, it is one of the most notorious and psychologically brutal prisons on Earth. Originally built in the 18th century after a bloody uprising under the Tsars, the facility was once a prison hospital. In 2000, it was transformed into a maximum security prison, housing Russia's most dangerous serial killers, cannibals, terrorists, pedophiles. Nearly 700 inmates are locked inside, responsible for the deaths of over 4,000 victims. The name Black Dolphin comes from a grim sculpture built by prisoners themselves, a dark dolphin mounted at the entrance. A bitter irony, a creature of freedom, guarding a place of eternal confinement. All inmates here are serving life without parole. The only way out is death. Outside each cell hangs a plaque listing the prisoner's crimes, a reminder to the guards that mercy has no place here. Security is nearly absurd. 3 layers of steel doors, 24/7 surveillance, lights that never go out, and guards checking every 15 minutes. Prisoners must stand or walk 16 hours a day. Sitting or lying down is forbidden. Each day, they are allowed only 90 minutes of exercise in a steel cage. When taken from their cells, they're blindfolded, hunched at 90 degrees, hands cuffed high behind their backs, escorted by 3 guards and dogs, to prevent them from memorizing the layout or attempting escape. To this day, no one has ever escaped Black Dolphin. They eat soup 4 times a day, are allowed to read or watch TV, and may visit the prison chapel. But these small mercies mean nothing against the weight of absolute isolation and nameless fear. Some infamous inmates include Oleg Kostarev, the Cherkasovsky market bomber, Vladimir Nikolaev, a cannibal, and Oleg Rilko, a serial rapist and child murderer. Black Dolphin is not for reform. It is a machine built to grind the human soul, severing all life and identity from within. White Swan, the prison of silent souls. Tucked away in the Perm forest of northern Russia lies Penal Colony IK2. Better known as White Swan, one of Russia's most severe and hopeless correctional facilities. Located in Solikamsk, IK2 is among the country's 7 supermax prisons, overseen by the Federal Penitentiary Service. It holds around 300 of the most dangerous criminals, crime lords, serial killers, rapists, terrorists, almost all serving life sentences. The name White Swan has several origins. Some say it comes from a swan statue in the yard, others from the prison's sterile white walls, but most believe it comes from the way prisoners are forced to walk, bent at 90 degrees, hands behind their backs, like a broken-winged swan. Cells hold 1 to 3 inmates, carefully paired based on psychological profiles. When the cell's food hatch opens, prisoners must immediately face the wall, raise both arms, and spread their fingers, a ritual of total submission. Each cell is marked with the prisoner's photo and list of crimes, so guards never forget who they're dealing with. Contact with the outside world is extremely restricted. Hallways are lined with cameras, and over 50 guard dogs patrol day and night. Notorious inmates include Lam Ali Datakaya, mastermind of the Anna Politkovskaya assassination; Salman Radaya, a warlord responsible for civilian attacks in Dagestan; and Denis Pishakov, who murdered 13 elderly victims with an axe. Those who obey strictly for years may be allowed to work, painting, woodworking, sewing, but only after rigorous psychological evaluation. White Swan is not a place for redemption. It is where lost souls fade, in silence, awaiting erasure from the world. Polar Owl, where time freezes behind bars. Far beyond the inhabited world, deep in the frozen wilderness of Siberia's Yamalo-Nenets region, lies one of Russia's most feared maximum security prisons, IK-18. Nicknamed Polar Owl, built in the 1960s in the remote settlement of Khark, Polar Owl is surrounded by snow-covered mountains and locked in winter for 9 months of the year. Temperatures drop to minus 50 degrees Celsius, and supply roads are often blocked by blizzards. It is home to around 300 of the most dangerous inmates in Russia: serial killers, cannibals, terrorists, and war criminals. Some of them are responsible for up to 300 deaths. All serve life sentences. And here, freedom is not even a concept, just a distant memory. Escape is not just impossible, it is suicide. One step into the night snow without permission, and the cold itself will be your executioner. Prisoners live in tiny, concrete cells, under constant 24/7 surveillance. They are allowed out just 1 hour a day, in a walled yard with no roof, a cold square of concrete, open to the Arctic sky. Communication between inmates is strictly forbidden. Silence, isolation, and cold are the true wardens here. Over the years, rumors and testimonies have surfaced about brutal practices. One former warden, Colonel Yuri Sandrykin, was convicted of torturing inmates, forcing false confessions in major cases. An anonymous letter once circulated online, describing guards beating prisoners with rubber batons and giving them only 5 minutes to eat lunch. Yet, paradoxically, there are European standard cells for well-behaved inmates, where they can read religious, philosophical, and patriotic books, or watch films once a week. But even these so-called privileges cannot thaw the walls of silence that surround their lives. Here, prisoners do not walk outdoors. They walk in roofless rooms, surrounded by gray walls, with no horizon to look toward. Some repent, others remain proud of their crimes. A former warden once said, "Here, prisoners don't die from torture. They die slowly, from cold and memory." Polar Owl is not just a prison. It is a psychological freezer, a place where time, identity, and humanity are locked in eternal permafrost. Nicknamed the Black Hole of the Soul, it stands as a chilling monument to the edge of justice and the end of self. Within the cold shadows of concrete walls, where there is no sunlight, no one to call your name, people remain alive, yet buried within the weight of their own pasts. Black Dolphin, White Swan, and Polar Owl are not just correctional institutions. They are mirrors reflecting the deepest questions of justice, punishment, and human nature. Where is the line between rehabilitation and destruction? Between rightful sentence and eternal oblivion? Thank you for joining us on this journey with 5W Explore. If this story struck you, please like, share, and subscribe. We'll be back to uncover more hidden histories, where truth walks hand in hand with darkness. See you in the next video.